Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to a brand new series. This week's series is all about strengthening your personal brand. And I had a dawning the other day while I was out on my run where all the best thoughts come through. And I never have a pen and paper because I'm so busy like in the motion doing the things. But fortunately, I remembered this one. I have had the key thread of my personal brand, my super strength, for 25 years. And yet underneath that, the way that has looked and felt has been very different over the years, through favouring one particular side of my business, to different times in my life and my business, what the world is doing, etc., etc. And the word that I came up with was connect. And I'm not like a professional networker or anything like that. I don't have like a snappy breakfast meeting speech. But connect is something that runs through everything that I do. So as an actor, when I'm working, that connection and that truth with a character or the scene or whatever it is that you're playing, or the director's story, is so key to be able to connect with those other actors. Likewise, in my coaching work, I help people to reconnect with themselves, and therefore I can connect them to what they want next and where they're going. In my writing and my speaking, I connect with my audience, I share ideas, and I often connect the dots as well. So I create a process and I formulate ideas so people can actually use them. Because I know that in the beginning of my coaching time, everybody just kept saying, like, just build your network, or just think positively, or do money-making activities. And I was always left going, but where are the instructions? What do you do? Turning it over like, oh, I can't find it. It's just like that moment in Bake Off when it's like, make the custard, or roll out the pastry. And it's like, hang on a minute, I haven't made any pastry. Oh, I've got to make the pastry. I've got to do that first. And likewise, in terms of my affiliate partners and some of the content creation that I do, I have to connect with that product. I really do, because I've been doing this way too long to just recommend any old thing. So connect for me is my word, and I'm going to give you some ideas of how you can play with this in terms of your word and how you can find that. And sometimes asking yourself, what are you not? What are the words that do not resonate with you? What are the words, like there's some people who are like, I'm a salesperson. I can sell anything to any, like that's the first thing that they say about themselves. And that's not my, like already I'm doing the like slapping and the moving and the like I feel the pinstripe suit and that is not my energy. I will always come to something with a connection. It's building rapport in a different way. And so sometimes in this process of finding out what your word is, understanding what it isn't is really useful. But to go back to where we started about really super strengthening this, especially when the world feels unpredictable or difficult or unreliable or scary or fearful, all of these things, I want you to go back to basics, because if you reconnect with this version of yourself, you'll always be able to make money. You'll always be able to survive, no matter what the world is doing, what the how you're feeling about yourself. If you keep going back to these sorts of things, and this has always been a really good exercise for me, you know, when I've had challenging times in my life, but I've still had to make money and grow my business and meet my responsibilities and circumstances, I haven't gone, let me just work out how to become an expert in Pinterest. I've always come back to this word of like, no, how can I connect with people? How can I meet people where they're up to? That is always such a better use of my time, because it's working on that strength within me. I want you to also unpick your process of when you have created that 10 out of 10 version of yourself. And how did you do that? And this is a really useful exercise, especially when things might feel hard, or you've lost your way a little bit, or you've disconnected, or you're out of practice, or your confidence is just on the floor, and you're then in self-doubt, and then you can't make a decision and things like that. I want you to go back to that place. And maybe you have a word already when you're thinking about your personal brand and what you're doing, like, oh, I'm that kind of that always leads into whatever I do. That's the energy that I bring. I want you to think about that past experience, that past success that you've had, and how you did it. Also, how do you show that that is what you do? So the way that I communicate in my content, how I get into the room, how I conduct a meeting, what I write in my emails, it's always with connection in mind. It's always about building that. Like, I'm not going to go, yeah, whatever, bye, like that. I'm not going to use language like that. I'm always looking towards that shared goal where we can come together. And I'm not saying I'm always going to get that, but if I have that intention, that's going to see me through some of the way. What's going to give you the support to elevate this version of you? And over the years, things like batching have been great for me, things like systems, because I love it when I can be in this flow and have this conversation with you. But I also have realized that in order to do that, I need to work with my own rhythm, my own free, quiet house, and not say, right, I want to connect with everybody at 7 a.m. every weekday morning. That would feel like I was pushing that connection, because 7 a.m. every weekday morning in our house is busy, it's hectic, it's lively, and all variations of the spectrum within that. And so when I'm looking at really feeling into this word, I'm going, okay, how can I create one video when I'm in flow, but also then how can I create 20 others? So those sorts of planning that really help me do that, allows me to show up as that version of myself without burning out or without being in conflict with the rest of your life. And a final question with that is, so where do you need more support? And sometimes that's like, I need a VA, or I need somebody who's going to give me the flip. So maybe you're a very detailed person, for example, and your detail is fantastic and people love it because you remember it and you got the email and I filed it away and like, yeah, no worries. And you can see all those things. But maybe you need somebody who is big picture, who can help you zoom out and you're like, oh, okay, that's where I'm going. I'll give you a few ideas here of things that might come up. So you might be a creative sharer. You might be somebody who is very lifestyle-y, who brings people into your world. You're very captivating. You're very sparkling and illuminating and engaging, and we just want to know more. And actually the best thing that you can do is to be in your own environment, sharing what you know, so people see the version of you. If you suddenly was like, right, in order to make more videos, I think I should go and hire a grey blank office space, you're going to lose that magic of that. So maybe thinking about that creative sharer in that way. There might also be the introverted deep thinker that shares what people are thinking. Maybe your work is deeply personal, it's emotional, it's empathetic, it gets right to the heart of matters. And sometimes that stings, sometimes that hurts. And in at one end of the spectrum, sometimes that is the work that changes the world. And I'm not saying like that, Miss World, like that's the word, it changes the world. But it does. It changes legislation. It changes how people think about things. It builds communities. It gives space to people who are maybe not represented anywhere else and builds that community. And so in order to be that deep thinker who is introverted, you need that time and that space and that blend of schedule that's going to work for you. Finally, you're a motivating mover. You know those personal trainers who are like, hi, I've got 3 things, we're going to do this. The motivating mover is the guy, one guy I can think of. I think he runs Tonic Health, I think it's called. He goes into supermarkets and he's like, Greek yogurt, don't buy this. Or buy this one, it's got more protein. Or this is great, this isn't, and it's done. And he's out of there. If he suddenly sat down and was like, hi guys, I'm just going to talk today for 40 minutes about what I think about Greek yogurt. People are like, no, because you have nailed the process of speaking in a minute and giving me all the information that I need. Because he's very much like 1, 2, 3. This is the best one. This is the one with the most fat. This is organic. This is rubbish. You know, he's nailed that formula. And so what I want to help you to do this week is to really lean into who you are and super strength it and really connect with it once again. I hope that's been useful today. I am welcoming people in this next season to work with me one-on-one for 100 days, or I do have some smaller options as well. But maybe now is your time. Maybe you are watching this going, oh yeah, I do feel a bit disconnected. I do need to get back into my rhythm and who I am and where I'm going. This could be for you. Lots of love, and I'll see you tomorrow for part 2. This is only part 1 of 5. So make sure you're subscribed, you're following along, maybe share it with a pal, who knows, if you want to. And I would love to know what your word is and what you took away from today's video. Lots of love. Bye.